I'm Doug Massi, and this is part one of our three-part Final Expense Tele-sales training series, where we're going to address and teach you how to do every single aspect of Final Expense Tele-sales from start to finish. In today's video, we're going to go over the best way to start, independent versus captive. I'll also address the type of leads that you should and shouldn't work, including how to get one of those Facebook funnel systems that like a bunch of companies are now advertising on like YouTube and Facebook. These guys are selling these things for like $5,000 to $10,000. I'm going to show you how to get a jacked up version of this system that will actually allow you to get like 20 plus preset appointments every single day. And guys, better yet, it's going to cost you a fraction of what those marketers are charging, which is how our agents are able to sell like $20,000 to $30,000 in annualized premium every single month right from the start, even as a newly licensed agent. Let's talk about leading with a really good main carrier. And yes, this is the perfect time to give this video a thumbs up. And guys, if you're new, please subscribe. We're putting out new insurance sales content every single week. And if you hang around till the end of the video, I'm going to show you how to get the objections and rebuttals cheat sheet. And this thing is pretty cool. It shows you how to deal with all the nonsense that these folks are going to give you and actually turn those people into sales. So do tell, what carrier should you start out leading with, and what should you do for really good training? I mean, guys, look. I know you're not one of those agents watching this video because you think that you're going to figure it all out on your own, are you? Should you go independent on day one and maybe start using a bunch of insurance companies immediately? Or is it better to start as a captive agent first? First off, I'm going to give you 3 scenarios where starting off as a captive agent makes total sense. And then I'm going to show you, well, why you really don't have to do that. I mean, think about it. To be captive, the negatives are that you might have to be with a company for 2 to even 3 years before you're vested. And with some companies, the vesting never even happens. I mean, they're not going to give it to you. Also, when you're captive, you're either on a much lower commission level, or you're getting paid by the hour with possibly no commission whatsoever, which is fine for some people. I mean, I don't know about you, but I sell insurance because I can make a lot more money selling insurance than if I worked for someone doing whatever, including working for someone selling insurance. Remember, when you're captive, the company that you work for actually owns you. Well, pretty much. Scenario 1, if you don't have money for leads and you really want to work the final expense telesales industry, then yes, going captive will allow you to do this. Scenario 2, at a good captive shop, a good captive agency, they will most likely give you some really good, high intense training. I mean, like really good training, which in my opinion is a great reason to be a captive agent. Scenario 3, look, if you're just not ready to commit even, a couple $1,000s into your insurance business, because you just aren't 100% sure that maybe this is actually even what you want to do, then yes, starting off as a captive agent is probably the best way for you to stick your toe in the water. On the flip side, I know our insurance agency has really intensive sales training for our final expense tele agents. We pay very competitive commissions, starting at 100 to 110%. Meanwhile, you'll have a trainer whose job is to work with you daily, which is pretty cool. They'll listen to your recordings and help you to get better and stronger on the phone immediately, and even help you with the underwriting. And yes, we set up your funnel system where you can get over 20 calendar appointments every single day of people that know that they are scheduling an appointment to speak with you about buying life insurance or burial insurance. These are real numbers from one of our newest superstars who, in his 2nd month in the business, took my advice. Yeah, he actually listened to what I suggested, and he went for it all. He just put the pedal to the metal. Notice how he stepped up his leads cost, spending around $1,300 that week, and wrote over $14,000 of annualized premium, which in my opinion is kind of crazy, right? When it comes to leads, honestly, TV leads are the best. However, I know I've said this in other videos, they're pretty expensive. They cost around $100 each and are really difficult to get. Now, you can go old school and put a couple hundred telemarketer leads into your dialer, right? That does work. Just make sure that the company you're buying from isn't some overseas call center that is generating illegal, non-TCPA compliant leads. You can also buy live transfers, which in my opinion, it has two real issues. One, you either have them coming in like every couple of minutes or so, which doesn't make sense, or two, you get like 3 or 4 a day, which isn't enough to sell anything. I mean, that's not gonna work either. Also, I saw an ad on YouTube the other day of this company that was wanting $60 for their transfer leads. I mean, that's just nuts. You can buy Google or even like Facebook leads, which again, you need like maybe a couple hundred of these every single week to just make a few sales, and that can cost you a couple of grand. Or you can buy a Facebook calendar appointment and lead system and learn how to use it. So this is pretty cool because now you're in control of your leads. FYI, don't use direct mail leads to sell Final Expense over the phone, guys. That just doesn't work. There are also independent insurance agencies, just like mine, that can set up your Facebook ads and funnel system for like a fraction of the cost that those dudes advertising on YouTube and Facebook charge. And yes, my guy will not only set the system up for you, if you're one of my agents, so hold on, don't bother me about it if you're not one of our agents, but he'll give you ongoing training on how to tweak out your ads and keep your leads costs down. Very cool. And even better, without having to spend thousands and thousands of dollars in the process. If you're already an independent agent and you're like really happy with where you're at because you're already making like $15,000 to $20,000 a month, I recommend leading with a really good telesales product like the Prosperity SUSA New Vista. Guys, I love Prosperity because they pay full commissions, and the commission levels, I know we started at 110%, no matter what the age of the client is, and no matter what product you write, level, graded, or modified. They take debit cards and direct express cards, and they give you 2 very cool telesales options. They actually have 2 different tele applications. You can either A, fill out the application and make the phone call for the tele interview, or you can use their brand new remote e-application, which, while you're filling out the application, it sends out an email to the client that they have to open and click to sign. The remote e-application is, unfortunately, it's not really good for like the elderly who maybe aren't very good with email and can't use DocuSign because they have to do that. However, I find that like most of our clients can do this, and since this does shave, believe it or not, around 20 to even 30 minutes off of the process, it is definitely the preferred way to go. As a new agent, I just suggest writing Prosperity and make sure that you have a really good GI, guaranteed issue product ready to go. I prefer Great Western. They have a really easy process and will pretty much ensure, they will insure anyone with a heartbeat that is between the age of 40 and 80 years old. Once you've made several sales and are good with the Prosperity New Vista product, that's when you want to start adding in companies like Royal Neighbors, Liberty Bankers Life, and American Amicable too. Beware, guys, writing Mutual of Omaha or Aetna's Ascendo product and even the Transamerica product over the phone is pretty high risk. All 3 of these companies can and will change their mind at times after they've already approved the client, or maybe even like they'll want more information and want to do another phone interview, which can delay the entire process for like weeks. This doesn't make sense for telesales, and that's why I don't recommend those carriers, at all, or at least unless you really have to use them. If you're watching this training series, the next video will cover, and it's a 3-part series, guys, so this is part 1. The next video will cover the Final Expense Telesales presentation, rebuttals versus objections, and I'm even going to go over the art of voice inflection. For a copy of the Telesales Objections and Rebuttals cheat sheet, just email me at doug@ufesonline.com. For more information on selling final expense insurance or Medicare products, as a completely independent insurance agent, just shoot me an email at that same address. Remember, guys, when you put the needs of your clients first, everything else will usually fall right into place. Now, get out there, or get on that phone, even better, and do something good for someone today. Happy hunting.